I'm creating these videos documenting the design process for the Spirit Keepers Tarot Full Color 3rd Edition for posterity. This video is a walkthrough of the twos. The Two of Wands or Two of Scepters is the discerning one, corresponding astrologically with Mars in Aries, where the powers of Mars are amplified. In the full color remastering, I've added Guan Yu, a cultural hero from the Han Dynasty, who later became deified as Guan Gong or Guan Di. I also wanted to depict the spirit of a red dragon around him, and for it to kind of almost look like an inked seal stamp. So that's what you see on screen. By the way, normally he wears a green robe over his armor, but I asked nicely, Guan Gong, you have to change your outfit and wear red. It's the suit of wands, red for fire, green is earth. And he was like, fine. Though I did later go back in to add a few accents of green. We have the familiar RWS imagery here, though what I wanted to depict was a first-person perspective where you are in a safe harbor looking out into the vast horizon, an ocean of possibilities and potential. The larger-than-life Guan Yu off in the distance is waiting to see whether you'll answer the call to battle and venture beyond your comfort zone, or are you going to stay there on the ledge of your own comfort zone? The golden ram, not just for the zodiac sign Aries, also represents the first acquisition you must make yours, leadership skills, and the fearlessness to scale new heights. Rams and sheep also have such amazing balance that they can stand on narrow ledges. So this is also about attaining the skill of having such artful balance in precarious situations. The main focal point for this card is the double Vajra with the rose and lily cross that you see in the RWS Two of Wands, though I've reversed the colors for symbolic reasons. In terms of magical art, this illustration started with the formation of the galaxies before descending to the scene of our card at night. Then daylight breaks, and there you are, looking out at the morning horizon. Interestingly enough, I worked on this fiery card through the August 2020 Northern California fires. On the morning of starting this card, there was a huge fire just 30 minutes away from my house, started by a historic lightning storm the other night. The whole week that I worked on this card, all sides surrounding my home were these walls of thick smoke. You couldn't even open any of your windows because the outside air was unbreathable. The Two of Cups is the joined one. I didn't change this card much, but did clean up the line work. Don't know if you can tell, but the blue water here is a lot bluer than the blue harbor from the previous Two of Wands. And if you're wondering if I recycled my Rock Cliff Mountain art, yep, guilty as charged. Abyssus Abyssum invocat. The depths of me calls out to the depths of you. That, to me, so poignantly expresses the theme of love. This is healing, purifying, perfected love. Oh, and yeah, I also recycled the chalice I created for the Ace of Cups, then just added the two crescent moons. I admit it's looking a little bit too high-tech digital artsy, but I assure you a master oil painter can recreate this work with just oil paints. I know the lion head in the RWS is red, but I wanted to work with the alchemical green lion symbolism here. As for the wings, my hand-drawn ones were way uneven, but do I want to go through that labor that will take to fix it? What should I do? What should I do? I fixed it. Even digitally, this is achieved one feather at a time, moving them into place one by one. So final result for my Two of Cups. I've really been enjoying the process of digitally painting these landscapes. I'm learning so much about technique, getting acclimated with the software program, all from just doing these landscape paintings on a tablet. My husband James was confused by the freaky looking green lion head and snakes, and when I explained that the green lion was a representation of vitriol, and yet this card is all about love, man, he got even more confused. Suffice it to say, I'll explain it in the companion guidebook for the deck, and I did hours of research on the history of vitriol, Arabic, Indian, and European alchemy, all for this card. Basically, vitriol is symbolic of purification, but that's not what I want to talk about in this video. I want to talk about those moonstones on the two chalices. Oh man, can I brag? Because I'm so proud of myself. Also, they took me forever to learn how to do, but I finally got the hang of digitally painting gemstones and crystals. Although, yikes, that zoomed in, that just looks kind of like crinkled paper, sorry. From this safe distance, I do say they look quite like spheres of moonstone, don't they? To create that effect, it's just layer after laborious layer of colors, every single pastel color airbrushed until it starts to look a little bit like stone. Honestly, if all these details don't show up on the final printed card, I think I'll cry. The Two of Swords is the blind seer, and weight tells us this card relates to Key 11 Justice, or the Chancellor in the SKT. I colored in this card under the waxing crescent moon in Libra when the ascendant was under the decan rulership of the moon in Libra, Libra rising. So I tried to draw down as much of that waxing crescent moon in Libra energies as I could for this illustration as a sigil. I mentioned the waxing crescent in reference to the moon you see in the RWS version. Also, my fellow Thoth readers, take a closer look at her dress. It's a tribute to Lady Frida Harris's Two of Swords. The gold-yellow tones of her dress is for the color correspondence yellow to the element air for the suit of swords. For the background, I reimagined the Lighthouse of Alexandria on the island of Pharos, circa 200 BC. The base is a square, the tower is octagonal, and the tip of the lighthouse is cylindrical. Historians believe that the Lighthouse of Alexandria was constructed out of pink granite. Remember the Eye of Providence from the original drawing? I wanted that to be the light emanating from the lighthouse, or at least that's the effect I was going for. Red rays for rubedo and golden yellow for the element air. The pupil is supposed to look like lapis lazuli. It was just a bit of a heartbreak for the final composition of the Two of Swords to almost completely cover up that Lighthouse of Alexandria. For more balance and symmetry, I went back in and added a second boulder over on the left and lowered her just a teensy bit. By the way, she's blindfolded to signify the blind seer, but notice the glint in the Eye of Providence above. That glint is the same detailing featured on the hilts of the two swords she's holding. She's currently blind to the way, but that doesn't mean she can't see. I still haven't totally decided whether to go with the version on the left with the blind seer off center or the more traditional RWS version on the right with her centered. See, I don't hate the off-center left version because it does not feel off balance to me. That's because of her and the positioning of the single boulder and the parts of the lighthouse that are visible. But also, tarot interpretation is the priority, not whether or not you can see the pretty lighthouse I spend a ton of time working on. So maybe just to be a traditionalist, I should go with the one on the right. I just don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm definitely listening to your opinion. James did warn me that a lot of the detailing I'm doing won't show up well on a printed 2.75 inch by 4.75 inch tarot card. That's not even mentioning the illustration work on features that end up totally blocked from view. But to me, I still need to do these cards this way. It's not about what you see, it's about what I know is there. The twos in tarot are about choices. The Two of Wands is choosing to venture into the beyond. The Two of Cups is choosing love and compassion, and by choosing love, you purify your own soul. Here, the Two of Swords is about choosing between two difficult options. There's no right or wrong, nothing easy about this. There are consequences and there are gains to both paths, and the hard truth is, it's kind of a wash. Later, the Two of Pentacles is going to be about choosing to change yourself at that profound inner alchemical level. Oh, and yeah, guilty. I keep recycling those rock drawings over and over. I mean, why not? The Two of Orbs in the SKT deviates from popular Rider-Waite-Smith card meanings, or did. I went very Thoth before. Here I've colored in the serpent, now presenting as a python, encircling a full moon and white sun. For the background, I digitally painted or airbrushed the Milky Way and starry night sky. I'm so proud of how this digitally airbrushed art came out. I really hope I can reuse this somewhere because sadly, the whole thing ends up getting covered by the final art for the Two of Orbs. I've added Ala, an Alusi of the earth and underworld, revered in Odinani, though she goes by other names in other West African traditions. Those long, dangly things like earrings represent Selene undulata, or African dream root, a sacred herb used by shamans, and adorning those tops is the dream root blossom. I haven't yet decided whether this card works better with her eyes open or whether to give her more of an air of mystery with the clouded eyes. By the way, kind of cool that this card is Jupiter in Capricorn, and at the time of completing it, Jupiter is in Capricorn. When I drew the twos in pen and ink on white cardstock, they were after I drew the fours through tens and then aces and then the twos. In the design diary on my website for the first edition, I explain why I drew in that specific order. There were no line or composition changes to these four cards in the Vitruvian edition, and now in full color, I hope I can share with you what I see. I hope it will be self-evident and apparent to anyone who looks upon these cards that this is not art, but architecture built by an occultist, not a spiritual hobbyist. This is, in no uncertain terms, witchcraft. These are gateways to an independently constructed world, our universe, and yet not.